Do you care where you spend eternity?
I do not.
Why don't you care where you're going to spend forever?
Because we're going to die and be in a hole in the ground.
You have a soul that's eternal inside of you that's going to exist forever. You're either going to be with God or you're going to be away from Him.
So, you might ask, why am I showing you this? Why this one clip of Nicholas Bowling? I think that this speaks to an underlying truth nowadays. Our human self-worth has been degraded to a point that we are only worth what we can produce to society. We forget that we're innately valuable in the eyes of God. All of the people who share the ideology that the man shared on that clip I just showed you all have one thing in common: extremely low self-worth. It's why he's fat. It's why he's not taking care of himself. It's why he's making the decisions that he is. Go ahead, tell me that I'm judgmental. Oh, you don't know his weight problems. Stop. Everybody has to take responsibility for their own decisions and their own life. You're not a victim. Stop. I understand, but stop. Back to the point of having no self-worth. That's actually not entirely that guy's fault. In fact, I think for the most part, it's 50-50. Because he gets to make the decision on what he thinks about himself. But the reality of the situation is, we live in a world nowadays that is absolutely inundated with messages and ideas coming at you every second about this is the standard and this is okay and you've got to make this much or this sort of car, this job, and it's absurd. And very few people have the discipline to just shut off the social media, don't look at the advertisements, don't look at the anything. What, you're gonna go be a hermit and live in the woods? Good luck. So what I see happening for people like this man is they start to, under no conscious doing themselves, associate their own self-worth with society's worth of them. If they're just, I'm just some guy who makes $50,000-$60,000 a year anyway. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter what morals I have. It doesn't matter where my soul spends eternity. No, that's innately wrong, in my opinion. You still have the same dignity and self-worth as every other human being in this world. Yes, even the billionaires and the richest people, someone's monetary worth or their ability to produce for a society does not change their worth in the eyes of God. And I see people confusing those two things constantly nowadays and valuing the material worth, unfortunately, most times more than that spiritual worth of maybe holding to a moral standard or doing what's right or telling the truth. And that's rough, because when a society rewards following the material monetary goals and completely disregards the spiritual, then you see what is happening to our society now. Godlessness. No surprise. When people begin to be valued more for their monetary and societal production versus who they are, then it's only a matter of time until they themselves are tricked into no longer even seeing the value that they innately have in the eyes of God. They'll only see that dollar sign at the end of the day. They'll see their houses, they'll see their cars, they'll see their job title, they'll see their savings and their insurance and their... But to take a good hard look at how you're doing. You know, how's the relationship with the big man upstairs? When's the last time you honestly prayed, confessed, and made sure that you were doing the best you could? And by that I mean being the best person that you could. if you're lying, if you're cheating, if you're stealing, if you're hurting people, there's a very good chance that you're not doing the best that you could do. And I would urge you to give that a shot, because the juice is always worth the squeeze there. It's always worth it to treat others how you would like to be treated, whether you see it back in this material sense or not. So I think I've pretty much said what I want to say to that regard. Value yourself. If you're a man, like, understand that it's not about the money. It's not about the dollars. It's not about the I make so much. It's about the, if you make $150,000 a year, that means that you can spend time with your family. You can provide for them. You can make sure that everybody is always safe and secure. That's what's important. The dollar's not important. What you do with the dollar, the utility of that dollar, that's actually important. That's what's so valuable about it. And it gets twisted so easily, you see. Because people say, oh, well, I couldn't do that without the money. You're right. But the money's just the tool. It's like if you had a hammer and you gave a guy a hammer and nails and you said, go build a house. A good craftsman, a good carpenter could do that. But if you take that hammer, same tool, let's say $100,000, and you give it to someone who's not responsible, doesn't know carpentry, doesn't whatever, they're not gonna build a house. They're gonna piss it away. It's not the money, it's what you do with it, and it's your perspective of it. To the same degree. Men, your worth is not your financial being. Your worth is how much you can show up for those that you love. Provide who you are so people can know you genuinely and actually have a relationship with you. You can actually show up for them, both physically, financially, emotionally, you name it. It's your responsibility, and you're doing that out of love because you love those people so much, and that's your responsibility as a man. Flip the script. Females. Only thing I want to talk on is OnlyFans. Please, for the love of God, understand that there is no dollar amount that someone could write on a check that would make it worthwhile for you to expose yourself, degrade yourself in any sort of way, online, in that sexual manner, for other people. You might argue that, well, some of those girls make six figures, some of those girls make such money, they bought a house, they bought a this and that. That's fine. That's again focusing on the material and the very physical sides of things. You're really gonna stretch that logic when you start talking about those young women's mental health. When they're going to have to recognize one day that everything they have built around them is on the foundation of them exposing themselves. If you want to say you're okay with that, God bless and save your heart. I don't think that that is a healthy thing, mentally or physically, for any woman to do. I'm against pornography of all degrees. It doesn't do what people want it to do. It doesn't serve the utility that even in a perfect world it could serve. And if you are in that place as a young woman who thinks that, oh, you know, maybe if I just go online and do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, then I would be much more financially free, there is a chance that you're actually right in that one regard. But in every other regard of mental health, physical health, well-being, everything else, you are trading all of those well-beings for money. And, I mean, if that right there in itself is not a big old red flag of, like, not a good idea, then I don't know what it is. So, men, women, young, old, recognize that you have innate value. Like, God, you're created for a reason. You were created in the image of God for a reason. You have value here. And it's not just your wallet, and it's not just your body, and it's not just what you can do, it's not just what you can say, it's the whole package. It's everything. So instead of saying it's this or it's that, just what I'm trying to get across is realize that it's complex and that everybody has their own weird issues of this and that nowadays, and it doesn't do us any good to judge. I think the best that we can do for one another, and what I'm attempting to do right now, is show up and attempt empathy. Because you're not going to know what that person is going through, and you're not going to understand why they're doing what they're doing. But maybe you can give them the benefit of the doubt and say, even if I don't agree with it, I'll hope and pray that they'll find their way. And I think that showing love and not hate, and staying as cordial and real, and making sure that we're driving out of love is the most that we can do for another person out there. So I feel like I'm rambling a little bit at this point. I'm gonna stop this and probably get something to eat. It's a beautiful day outside, and it's been a really weird one so far, so I'm happy I got the opportunity to take this, and I hope that that you take something from it, even the tiniest thing, and please leave a comment down below with your ideas, your thoughts on why you think people's self-worth and purpose has become so degraded nowadays. Because that's why I'm here. We're in this together. I want to have this conversation. And this is me having the conversation with myself. And now it is your responsibility to voice your own thoughts and not bite your tongue, and actually say what you feel and think about these topics, which I think are pretty important. So I love you, and until next time, this is what did I decide on?
I've gotten a few emails.
This is the Ian Sword, or Ian's Word YouTube channel. And yeah, until next time. See you guys.